Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So, got that dip to the downside. We didn't really hit that upwards pool like we were saying, but the ultimate move draw to the downside was what we were saying in terms of a possible midweek reversal Thursday. Now we are November 17th, run for profit Friday. Is that profit to the upside to recover this vector here, or continuation to the downside? Let's go ahead and take a look at high block. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock that liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss. And we get to see where those crispy characters are, so let's do it now. So ultimately there was a large draw to the downside. We were talking about possibly sweeping the shorts one last time before dropping, and let's just hold ourselves accountable to that statement. We were putting out the overall, we even put a pool down here with the fair value gap region, and they came down and closed candles upon that. Fairly interesting. So they didn't come up to these pools, they just ripped it to the downside straight. So these pools were recovered. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that was. So there was a tune of 7 billion in long liquidity which was reclaimed, and so all that 7 billion was taken.
Fatality.
And that's what happens when you don't pay yourself. So whoever longed here was just taken back, and we're just range bound as hedge funds and whatnot offload their positions for the year in profit. and possibly consider switching sides. Do we come up to here? There's $120 million at 37.074, so we can go ahead and mark that off at first. 37.074.07. About here, there's 120 million up here. This would coincide with the wick region. And let's go into the higher time frame pools, shall we? I'm a little bit pressed for time. I have to be out of here relatively soon. This is one of the days I have to go in early. So I'm a little bit pressed, and it was rainy and the traffic was bad. There are all sorts of horrible things causing me to be late today. My son having a little bit of a temper tantrum was not fun either. So coming up into this 38.5 region is the last sweep of the draw that we were seeing possibly happening on that level up here, the 38.550. At some point it may come back into the region. So let's go ahead and take a look again. This is the 7-day. The monthly has that ultimate draw to 34K. We've been talking about the sweep of the lows here. Goes all the way to that 33K and beyond. Basically about $60 billion plus waiting down there on the monthly. 3-month has even deeper levels of liquidity down in that 25K, sub 25K region. Calling for stop losses to be hit. The 6-month also even lower at that 24K, the draw to the downside. 2-year. The 2-year has yet to percolate some genuine pools up above, starting to get some 63 billion up at that 41K region, 50 billion at 40,004, which was previously not there. Also, we talked about the retrace to fill in the gap here. There was a gap from this 39 and 38 and 38.4 region, and now you're starting to get 38.8 has 31, 38.4 12 billion, 39.2 13 billion. So this drop in the shorts starts to cake up liquidity on the path to possibly coming to 40K, and that's what it does. As it retraces down, it fills these gaps with liquidity. Do we see a little bit more of a retrace? It's entirely possible with this run for Profit Friday, with NQ basically going range bound and not going lower, just holding the range. Do we hit those, sweep that wick up here at 16K? If the NQ does sweep that wick and put in a higher high and hit this range at 16,062, then that could possibly bring Bitcoin down, as people do reposition in those sectors, as we talked about, the swapping of the sector swap. We were talking about coming up to here for the Dixie and possibly rejecting off that 0.5 consequent encroachment level, the 0.5 of this impulse. And yeah, let's go into the momentum real quick. We're short for time, so let's do it quick. Here we go. Link is in the description for more. Also, the little button over to the side there talking about Black Friday next week. You can scroll down to features, toggle everything at your leisure, and see about the baselines and all that fun stuff, and the trend cloud and the unique stochastic array, finishing off where Larry Williams left off. Okay, so let's go down the daily time frame real quick, see if we can see something, glean something nice from here. Daily cloud holding strong, as is the super trend going flat here. There is a pool down here from long ago at 33.8. I think we could delete that by now. I mean, these pools are able to be seen on the higher time frame anyway. So let's go to the 3-day. I believe the 3-day close is in 23 hours. We're just below the adaptive. Do we close above or below that 36.381 region of the adaptive or not? we banged our head against it for 6 days now. The last time we did that and failed, we saw some large downside from March. Okay, so let's go back to the daily and make our descent. Daily time frame, stochastic coming down. Money flow RSI even Steven near the 50 level, could break down at 50. The suppression of the Williams could be inbound, bringing this KD line lower. The MACD is pointed to the downside. Could be getting that draw to the downside as well on the daily. 22 holding that 22-hour cloud, and the super trend looks like it could be coming down further, though not in that pocket of space I normally long. And yeah, if we go to 12-hour also holding the cloud, bounced off the cloud one time, held the super trend. You got that Momentum Master Trinity on your side, and then the one thing to be concerned about is this baseline event. The baseline on the 12-hour has been crossed down, and you've been seeing this also on the daily suppression of the baseline holding. The baseline is your first sign of reversal when you have candles closed beneath it. And if we go to the 4-hour here, sorry, 6, I don't believe we did the 6. The 6 coming back below the cloud, and the flash of the baseline cross down event is something to be concerned of. We had this last time here, and sure enough made this dump. So are we going to see this as a C wave continuation down to sweep this 34K region? It's entirely possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour. Four-hour also has a cross down event of the baselines. Found that support on that fair value gap region we marked off, and the super trend level for that limit order entry type person. And money flow coming above the RSI, suggesting fatigue to the downside, continuation to drop this KD line even lower. Having a fruit shake, peanut butter and banana. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what you're missing out on. And honey, of course. And money flow beneath the RSI here on the hourly. The hourly could get that push up to that 37K region. There's that gap up in here. This region here is a little fair value gaparoo up in this region here. Once again, if you don't know what a fair value gap is, you can use these fractal break, imbalance, fair value gap, liquidity void indicator. It will fill it in for you. The reason why mine goes up to this wick, because this wick already recovered this little bit here, so the remainder is still this bit. So if you don't know how that works, this is kind of why we came up to that region. We went to that 50% of this fair value gap and reject back down. So are we going to do the same? That is the question. Are we going to close a candle beneath that 0.65 region over here at 36,993 or not? Okay, so coming down to the 15, and then I have to move on to Litecoin for my man, and then bid you adieu because I gotta get to work soon. Money flow above the RSI here on the 15, getting overbought, but could double top. We are reclaiming the cloud here on the 15-minute. Everything has to start somewhere. We started that here and made our journey out. So if you hold the cloud, I don't trade against the cloud. So if we start to round out here and thin and come down into this region and bounce up, You could be looking for a reclamation of the cloud idea, and ultimately looking to possibly come lower from that point. So that is what I'm seeing right here. We got 3 time frames oversold. Could be coming a little bit lower. I'd be looking for some lower prices. We're at a premium level pricing range. Let's go ahead and take a look at the no more Litecoin, please. Touchy subject. Oh no. My son got in trouble. Wait, what? My son got in trouble and to not want to go to school, and the teacher always worried. No. Yeah, my son's only 2, so his is more like he's just like crying, wanting to stay home and watch Spider-Man. I teach I teach science and English here in Japan. Wait till you're 40 or rich or whatever comes first. My chart says we're hitting a bullish fair value gap, and then we're heading back to the upside. Nice. You got out of Litecoin. All right, cool. Hopefully it was in a profitable position. So we had this little fair value gap down here. It looks like we recovered this BPR one. Even went as low as this. So we wicked down to this one here. You can turn this on and see there's a little gap down here, and we didn't really wick that. We got this one here and then bounced off that. Overall, we haven't swept the lows in some time. We've just been giving pain to the shorts left and right. So coming down here, giving one last hurrah to the shorts, coming to this level. Let's go see if this is lining up with the Fibonacci. Let's go to the pocket. This takes you to that 618 region, so the confluence is there in the math for a potential rejection point coming down into this region, perhaps later in the weekend. Who knows? All right, well, if you have something you want me to look at, I don't have time to go over Bitcoin dominance and all that rigmarole today, unfortunately. But as it stands right now, it looks like we have the baselines in our favor, and we're looking for this hourly play to play out. We got the money flow beneath the RSI, everything in a oversold position. So looking for this hourly play to take us up to this region and see what it does up here. No guarantees it'll do this second part, but that's where you would possibly see that rejection. Let's go see what is up. Litecoin will have it stay, it's just not now. Yeah, it's a lot of the exchanges took a lot of hit with the FTX fiasco, so a lot of altcoins and overall sentiment, mine included, for altcoins has just all but evaporated. This is why I trade the NASDAQ instead of altcoins, because there's actual liquidity there, and the altcoins were kind of manipulated, and there's all those interviews with Sam Bankman-Fried talking about how it's just like a wrapper that they manipulate. So who knows what the other exchanges do. I just don't want to risk it. So it looks like a lot of we had a retracement on the alts all the way to basically the equilibrium level and possibly going lower. Sorry, I got to get out of here. So sorry for the short stream today, but this is my story and I'm sticking to it. Watch what the hourly time frame can give up to this region, to this fair value gap slash liquidity void slash mathematical confluence zone. It also happens to be, what do you know, the cloud on Momentum Master. So do we get a rejection off the cloud? The cloud is turning in a manner here. It could be your setup for a short. We will see going into London. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. So thank you for coming on into live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share, an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. And we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.